Hi everybody. This week we're going to be making crab sculptures out of Crayola Air Dry Clay. I'm going to be showing you two different methods, one for my more advanced Ceramic 2 students and one for my beginning Ceramic 1 students. In each case, we're going to be reviewing and going over some special techniques such as reinforcement coils, scoring and slipping, welding, and we're also going to be reviewing and learning the different stages of clay. So we're going to be covering a lot of stuff in this tutorial. So Ceramic 2 people, you're going to be using the 2-bowl pinch pot method to create the body of your crab. And Ceramic 1 students, you're going to be continuing practicing making your shapes, and you're going to be using that technique and making a solid form for your body of your crab. What you're going to need for this project is a little bit of clay, so I recommend taking some out of your bucket and keeping it in a ziplock baggie so it doesn't dry out as you start working. You're going to need a little cup with a sponge and a teeny bit of water, not a lot of water so it doesn't spill, and your sculpting tools and your needle tool. And also it's helpful to have a little paintbrush so that you can use that to smooth out your seams. The first thing I want to talk to you about is creating some of the shapes. I want to go over that with you. When you just go ahead and take a little piece of clay out of your bag, about enough to fit in your hand, and we're going to start off making the body of the crab. So if you're in Ceramics 1, you're going to make a solid body, and if you're in Ceramics 2, you're going to make the body by combining two pinch pots. Okay, so the first thing to do when you first get your clay is kind of knead it in your hands a little bit. This will sort of soften it up. And you can start rolling it on the table and compacting it and tapping it in your hands like this to form a ball. So the idea is that you want to form a nice ball. This is the same thing for both methods, the pinch pot method and the solid method. And start out forming your ball. This is going to be the body. You can use the table and roll it around on the table. You can tap it a little bit. The idea is just to get most of the wrinkles out if you can. If you have some stubborn wrinkles like I have here, you can dip your finger, get a little bit of water, not too much, and this will help smooth out the wrinkles. Notice I'm not using very much water. So you can sort of tap that. This is going to be the bottom of the crab. Okay. And if we look at the picture of the crab, I kind of pull it out a little bit here like this on one side and pull this out a little bit on this side. And this makes it a little more oval. Now to make the crab legs, these are going to go on the sides, right? So this is one I already pre-made. So I'm going to put that aside right there. And best thing to do is to start out with a ball. So I just pinched off a little bit of clay and I rolled it around and made a ball. And from here, you're going to sort of turn this into a cone, much like you did with your shapes. So I'm rolling it so that one side becomes more narrow. I'm going to keep doing that. And I want to kind of match this. Okay, that's getting closer, and then I'm going to round this out a little bit so that it has the same bend. Okay, and then I'm going to take my sculpting tool and cut a claw. Okay, and then you can sort of use this to press the shape a little bit. Okay, and then the eyes are 2 balls. You know how to make those, and we could just put those here temporarily. I'm going to show you how to put those on. And the last thing I want to show you is the 8 has 8 legs, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take a little piece of clay and squeeze it, and then just start rolling it on your table, and then cut that in half. So now you have about 4 legs, and you can make sure they're all about the same size. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of each of these. Now I would like to show you how to actually put your crab together so that it doesn't fall apart and break. So the first thing, I think the best thing to do is to put the crab legs on, and you can sort of position it and give yourself a little mark. I'm putting a little mark here in the back so I know how to line it up. Okay, and the first thing that we want to do is we want to score everywhere where it's going to attach. So essentially you're making little crosshatch marks to score it. Okay, and I'm going to do it. I made my little mark right here, so I know I have to score all this going this way and this way. So quite a bit. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and score both sides so I don't have to do okay, and I'm going to score this as well. Okay, this is going to help it stick together. Okay, then you want to take some water on your brush and kind of tap it on so it goes into the little grooves that you just made. And this is going to help it stick. It's like glue. Okay, and I'm only going to do one at a time. So now you want to sort of take it and press it without smashing it. So, and then I'm going to do my other one. And I'm going to press it on. So I have this leg, I don't know if you could see it, but I have this leg coming up a little bit, this claw, and then this one I'm going to position a little bit down so he looks like he's going to be crawling. Okay, now you have those on. Now what you need to do is you need to pick it up and weld it. So you're going to take your sculpting tool from the bottom, and without hacking it up, you're going to pull some of that clay into the body. Okay, and you're going to do that on both sides. And while you have it turned over, you're going to put a little bit of what we call a reinforcement coil. So I'm just taking a teeny bit of clay, and I'm going to soft clay, and I'm going to roll it to make a thin coil. And now I'm going to lay it right in there like that. And I'm going to weld, this is called welding. I'm going to weld that. I put a little too much in there. I'm going to cut a little piece off. I'm going to weld all that so it integrates into the body. And not only is it visually integrating, but it's also going to make it really strong so it doesn't snap off when it starts to dry. This is essentially a sculpting here. So you're moving the clay around and shaping it all at the same time. This is how you blend and integrate shapes to make a particular form. We're just working on the crab right now. Okay, so that looks pretty good on this side. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to put a little reinforcement coil and weld it. And if it's kind of dry and the clay's not moving around too easily, go ahead and put a little water on it. Make sure you use this sculpting tool because this has a really nice tip. And this tip really helps things merge, blend. And notice how slowly and carefully I'm going. I'm not in a rush. So if you rush it, you tend to smash it. So you're really watching, paying attention to what's happening. And if this gets a little bit too gunked up, just go ahead and wipe it on your sponge, and that'll clean that off. You can also use the back of your paintbrush, or sorry, your paintbrush, not the back of it, but your paintbrush, to help integrate those areas so they're nicely fused. But not a lot of water. We don't want to use a lot of water. Okay, so this is starting to look a little bit like a crab body now. Okay, if you weld the bottom like that, you probably don't need to weld the top. However, if it does feel a little bit not attached, go in there and kind of weld it like that carefully so you don't distort it. This will help it really stick. Okay, do that on both sides. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I have my little crab legs, my little crab. And now I think the next thing I want to do is add the eyes. So you can sort of put those where you like. I think these look kind of cute right there. So you can check them out to see if you want them closer together. That actually looks kind of cute. I'm going to keep them kind of like that. And then you're going to take the round part of your sculpting tool and roll it around and make a little socket. Okay, now just as you did before, you're going to score, oops, and then you're going to score. Add a drop of water. Add a drop of water. And pop it in there. And you want to kind of twirl it. And press it so it doesn't pop off. Okay. I can kind of decide where I want to put the mouth. So you can, you can make the mouth go any way you want to. So I'm going to give mine a crooked mouth, I think. Draw it on first, however you want it. And then you're going to press your tool in and open it up a little bit. Make little pupils, like with the back of your paintbrush. Okay. Now for the last part, we have 8 legs, right? So we have 4 legs going like that. And we have 4 going like that. So make sure the ends are just as you like them, the toes. Press the ends together like this so that they sort of become one. This is going to help them stick. And you can do the same thing with these. Okay. And then those are going to go like that. And these are going to go like this. Right? And then these are going to go like that. Okay, so let's put these ones on first. So we're going to pop this over. And you can kind of mark it so you know where it goes like this. Okay, pick it up, score. Some water. Add some water to your feet, to your toes. And then you're going to press them down. And then you're going to take your sculpting tool and weld them into the body underneath. Okay, and those should be on there, and then you can also check right in here to make sure that actually looks good. Work out some. Anytime you see a wrinkle, just try to work it out a little bit. Okay, and now we can position these ones. These are going to be going the other way a little bit, like this. And see if we could pick those up. Mark it so I know where to score. Score. Water. Okay. Now if you don't press down hard enough, these are going to pop off. So you really need to put a little pressure on these so that they really integrate into your form to give it some character. I like it like that. Is your crab. Nicely welded.